Hey fellow survivors, Explorer Idra here, and today I'm going to be bringing you a bit of a starter video for Lost Island. So Lost Island has been out for a few months now, and with that we wanted to share a bit of a starter guide for those who may have not yet started on this map, or for those who are maybe returning to play again and just wanted to have a bit of a different place to look at. And we wanted to share with you our area that we called home to start with. One that I'm not going to claim is the best starting area, but one that worked really well for us and got us a bit of a head start on metal, since metal is a bit of a it's a bit hard to find on this map, especially in the starting stages of the game. So with that, let's jump into it, shall we? So we are currently hanging out at our starter base, and it is around 43.7 by 27.5. As you can see on the map to the left there, we're in the top, I guess, northwest quadrant of the map. And I'll bring this up here. So we are looking at Kessler Beach, and I believe we started around the Kessler Beach. It was either number 2 or 3 in one of the easier starting points that you can pick. And this was a great area to start. Now, being that metal can be a little bit of an issue at the beginning, especially when you've got these stone tools, this area offers a few pretty decent areas around it where you can get metal, and I'm going to show off some of those spots. So right here on the beach, right near where our starter base was, you've got access to these rocks here, and these, as you can see, I just picked up 3 stone there. Those will provide a good little chunk of metal to begin with. You just got to run around and look for them. As well as stone and flint. And then if you come over here, this spot was great because it has river rock to it, which also provides you with metal. As you can see, I was getting some there. And you come in and it is river rock all around this pond right here. So you can just go to town, farm up a bunch of your river rock, and you should be able to come back with a pretty decent sized stack of metal to it. Now with that pond over there all wrapped up, picked up all of your metal. You can see our starter base there, this little inlet right here. If you go the opposite direction towards this deep kind of forest / swamp area over here, there is access to a whole bunch more river rock all along here as well too. So and the nice thing is that because it's river rock, it's on the beach, it's easy to farm, easy to access, and fairly safe beyond the odd raptor or Carno. You just kind of have to look out for them a little bit, but if you bring a bola for the raptors, they're not too bad. Carnos you might have a little bit more trouble with, but again, another great area for picking up a bunch of metal via river rocks. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. And now starting here again in Kessler 3, I think it was. So it gave us access to being pretty close to this little mountain right here, as you can see in the distance. So being that we built on the beach, all we had to do was come along the beach here and then come up along this cliff edge, scale the mountain all the way up, and if you come up to the very top, where we actually built a secondary base up here, specifically to getting metal. And we ended up warding it off here with a wall to keep out anything like your Rexes and your Raptors, Carnos, all that good stuff. But another great spot to be able to build. So it is fairly safe. We found that we didn't have any issues with anything being able to climb up once we walled it off. But up here is access to, again, some more great metal nodes, as well as obsidian. So fairly close to being starting down there on the beach in the Kessler area. You get access to a whole bunch of obsidian. There is rich metal nodes up here, so you can make the trek up here. You just have to watch out. Again, there is some Kentos, Raptors, there's some Argus in the area, so it is a little bit less safe, but if you are willing to risk it out, there's definitely some great reward up here for picking up metal as well, and close to the starting area. Alright, and so here we are now, just looking out the backside of our starter base here. And I'm going to point out kind of one of the last benefits to being starting up in this Kessler area here. Is these islands just to the south of us. So this area we did wall off because it was a little bit dangerous. And I'll put it at the very end. You can actually see our latest episode for our series if you do want to take a look at us trying to fend off this bad boy to T-Rex that wandered down onto the beach here. Definitely check that video out. But yeah, you do have to be careful because you will find some of those nasties like the raptors and the carnos and the restos that do wander down here. So you do have to put up a bit of a protective barrier for yourself here. But if this isn't going to be an area that you really want to actually put your starter base at, or even a main base, just south of us here is these beautiful and wonderful islands here. So coming here, again, you do have the access to the river rock, which is great, and this little area up there, which has some obsidian and some metal. It's not far from these islands, which is great. So once you get yourself some of these trees and you pick up yourself some wood, thatch, and fiber, along with a bit of hide, which is pretty simple to get from here too, with a lot of the dodos and even some of the dilos, the early on creatures. You build yourself a raft or a canoe, and then you can head on out down to these islands down here, which I'll take you to. And these islands are wonderful because this one here in particular is pretty safe. The only thing I came across was some of the dilos, maybe some of the ickies that might try and steal your stuff, but otherwise it's fairly safe, you guys. And there's this little cluster right here, which offers some more great metal nodes to it, both rich and just regular. And then straight across this side here, you have access to this island, which has been phenomenal for us too for starting. And again, it's fairly safe. The only thing I ran into really was, you get your Brontos that might shake you up a little bit. But again, the Dilos, the Ickies. But if you come up into here, you've got access to Crystal at the very start, which is wonderful for making your spyglasses and your jars and all that kind of good stuff. And then you come up to the top and you've got more access to metal over here, as well as a crossover here to some more metal over here. So and some great area to be able to build a starter base, or really if you wanted to hunker down on one of these islands and make a bit of a island base, you've got lots to choose from, which is great. So with that, you guys, that's going to do it for today's kind of quick starter guide video. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and hope that it kind of helps you out. So if you're starting out on this map, choosing the Kessler region, if you wanted to be up in this northwest quadrant, hopefully we showed you a few areas where you could put up a bit of a starter base, where you have access to some metal, some obsidian, and some crystal right off the start. All very important resources that can be a little bit difficult to find sometimes. So as I said, this is not going to be what I'm going to claim to be the best starting area, but it is definitely a very viable one, I feel like, and it did us really well. If you have an area that you thought was also equally or even better to start at, by all means, throw it in the comments down below. Let us know what you think of either the Kessler region to start with, or somewhere else that you thought was a bit of a better fit or another viable option. Love to hear from you. So otherwise, guys, hope you have an awesome day, and we'll see you guys on the Ark.